Welcome to the Backlog Chronicles.
We are a podcast that challenges fanboy beliefs
and takes a pragmatic approach to all things gaming.
We strive to create a community for self-thinking fellow gamers.
A community where logical conversation can take place.
And a drive to further one's knowledge of gaming can be sparked.
Take a seat.
Show's about to begin.
It's Monday, and this ain't no accident.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, Jordan. What the fuck, man? Halloween was yesterday, bro.
I'm sorry.
You know, people want to see your face, man. I know. I'm sorry, man. I know. But I did. So, if it's any consolation. What's up, guys?
Yo.
Happy Monday.
Man.
Happy beginning to the week.
Yes.
Happy November 1st, 2021.
Yeah, no shit.
Official podcast of Zeta Halo. That's right, Game Positive, my fucking son.
Right, Eric.
Absolutely, man. That's exactly what it's going to be. Come, 37 days, 36 days? I found out that Halo Infinite releases at 9 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. Eastern on December 7th. Yeah.
What?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's gonna
Okay,
be,
Mo, I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah, bro.
I
And I
didn't
was
know
happy.
that.
I was happy because I'm gonna be home. Right?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Imagine like you're released at midnight. I'm like, 2 hours, and I go to sleep. Oh, hey.
That is awesome.
Oh
That
yeah.
is awesome.
Oh yeah. Anyway, man. What's up, my people? How's everybody doing? Thanks for being with us. TBC 71. We're here on Monday today because yesterday some of us had some trick-or-treating obligations, and I'll be honest with you, I would have probably slept on the couch if I ended up doing a show. So we ended up pushing it to today, and here we are. It's actually pretty cool, man. It feels weird, but it's nice on a Monday night. TBC 71 again. I'm Mo, Dr. Mo Mokauma, here with my fucking sons. Jordan, Mike, Kevin, boys. How you doing? How you douching? You guys all right? Pretty good?
Hadouken.
Good shit, baby. All right. Here we are. We got a lot to talk about. And as usual, let me go around. And I'll start out with the dashing debonair himself. Oh, wow. Oh, bro, he gave the side look. He looked to the side. What's up, baby? Hey, you're getting salt and pepper too, man.
Dude, when I don't trim it, it comes out a lot
that's
more.
amazing. If I had hair, I wish I was salt and pepper. Look at Kevin. Look how fucking sexy he is with that salt
I know,
and pepper,
Kevin. I hope I look like
This is
that.
all natural.
I'm pretty jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Shit.
boys.
What's up, boy? What's up, baby? How you doing?
Good, man. It worked out. You know, we all kind of had things going on yesterday, but my friends up north from me, they invited me on like a last minute big hike for the rest of the season because it's going to get really, really wet and cold and snowy. And we just had a fantastic hike up north. We did this route called Kolchuk Lake, and it was about 4.5 miles one way and then 4.5 back. It was probably one of the coldest hikes that I've done. I over-prepared, but it's always good to be over-prepared than unprepared, right, Mike?
You always
Yes, for
fucking
sure.
overachiever. You always over
Micro spikes, freaking poles, jackets, layers, man. I was not gonna freaking get caught with my pants down. But great weather. The following night we stayed up in Leavenworth, which is like a little Bavarian town up there for some reason, and it's a cool tourist spot. So they're getting the Christmas lights set up.
Let me ask you one thing.
Yeah,
I
go
saw
ahead.
your pictures. Do people actually live there?
Yes. There's a
Bro,
freaking
that's so
hospital there too,
fucking
dude.
No way.
Yes.
Oh
I'm
my
assuming there's like
God,
less than
man.
50 beds. It's like
I
so
love
small.
shit like that.
It's cool.
I love towns like that. It's
Cool.
so nice, man.
It's very self-contained, man.
Yes.
We did a whole like bar hop thing, just walking down the street, and you went like bar and then cider house and then bar and then restaurant, and it was a great night. Not a whole lot of games. That's okay though because got a lot of good shit going on. And yeah, yesterday was just spent driving back home and then kind of recalibrating before I get back to work tomorrow. So here we are.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, your pictures were pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah,
honestly.
they were.
Yeah, they were. I'm glad
They
you.
looked fake.
I'm glad you got the last one out of your system.
They look so
Yeah.
I really am. That's freaking awesome. And then Luke over here is saying, "What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are enjoying you guys while I enjoy some Halo Wars too.
good. Nice,
I'm glad you're
Luke.
Respect you,
enjoying
Luke.
it.
Nice,
Appreciate you
Luke.
being here with us, baby. Thank you.
I've never been enjoyed by Luke, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Oh yeah. I know, man. I hope you got your nicest shirt on too, man. That's awesome, dude. All right, Kevin, my son.
Yo,
I know you've had a off week,
just
man.
busy,
How
just
you doing,
busy.
bro?
Good, man. Just lots of work, lots of stuff. Had to still help out with the teenager on Halloween. Just rides here and there. But for the most part, I didn't see her, so that's kind of nice. She's 13, so she had a little party, and I dropped her off, picked her up. But again, just busy. I think after Halloween, there's kind of that lull, until Thanksgiving, and then another lull. But in between, there's always shit to do, and it always seems like this time of year gets a little slower, and then it's like hurry up and wait, right? And then it's panic, and then you wait some more. But for the most part, I haven't gamed a whole lot. I'm hoping that changes, but I did, I did play a little bit of stuff, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes, we will, bro. That's awesome, man. Let me see. Bizzle, thanks for being here, man. I hope you have a good night at work. Bless your heart, man. I know you always work the night shifts, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah, Mike, Machine Gun Mike,
Yo.
my man. What's up, baby?
Nothing
Rocking
much,
your
Mo.
fucking
I hope you-
PlayStation hoodie, bro.
I know, baby.
Like,
Yeah.
Look at you, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
God,
I
like
was
God
like-
created your fine
I
ass.
was like, I need like a smoking jacket or whatever, like for podcasts. Usually it's a Superman sweater, but I was like, I gotta get a PlayStation hoodie, and then the next one will be Xbox. The one, Jordan, that we were talking about like last month, or some
Yeah.
sort of Halo one, like characters, I don't want to like base it off of one thing, I was wanting a God of War one, but they don't make like quality apparel for like specific games or like characters, and if they do, it's like from a company that it's like kind of like, I don't even think this is an official PlayStation hoodie. I'm not sure though. Right. But anyways, yeah. This week, let's see, doing a whole lot of nothing. I watched Dune probably too many times this week. I'll tell you what,
wow.
man.
Okay.
Like it really, like my wife digged it, so she was just like, nah, like put that movie on just for background, because the soundtrack is good, the visuals are good and stuff like that, and it just hits, man. It has literally made me look at sci-fi in a different view, like a different perspective now. And I feel like that this perspective has always been there for me, but for some reason Dune, like it's always been hidden, or like I've been blinded from it, and Dune just kind of like exposed it to me, because I always thought sci-fi was mostly one of this thing where it's just like, oh, it's just trying to be something like different, like wild ideas. But something about Dune really grounded a lot of like sci-fi stuff for me, and even rotating into what I'm playing, which is Guardians of the Galaxy, like I'm hitting all these like galactic planetary like vibes, but it feels like a lot more touchable. Like it feels like a lot more realistic and grounded because of Dune. And I'm like I watched Elysium today, by the way, Jordan, and I was like, dude, I'm looking at this like in a totally different spot. Like I love it too. It's so Halo as well with the shield.
Elysium's
and
good.
Yeah, the
Elysium
is
is good,
crazy.
man.
It is
Elysium
crazy.
was
I
cool.
like Matt Damon, man. I like Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He's got some good movies. But yeah, just doing the family thing. My son was a ninja for Halloween, so he had some light up swords and stuff. It was cool. I ate way too much candy last night. I probably ate enough for like a family or something.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yeah, man, trick or treating and just doing the family stuff, dude. It's good. How are you, Mo? How's your week, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let me address Nick's here. Nick's, I really appreciate that you appreciate the football behind me. This way I get to shoot two birds with one stone. And you're absolutely right. No, football is like drinking tap water when trying to use it. That's like an empty Evian bottle and filling it up with tap water. Absolutely, man. I agree with you on that one. My week is okay, man. Work and stress due to that, and not much gaming. I did play Guardians, which we'll get into in a bit. Honestly, that's all I played, man. Yeah, I haven't really. Yeah, I watched Dune last time we were talking about it, and I'm surprised you've seen it more than once or twice or whatever, man. That's awesome, honestly. And just kind of waiting right now until Forza Horizon 5.
Hell yeah.
Looks like it's gonna be a freaking to quote our friend Joe from PlayStation Podcast or a Trophy Room, it's gonna be a banger
For sure.
for all intents and purposes. Yeah, man, previews are looking up to be pretty positive already, and it's gonna be freaking awesome. And that's before Halo. So yeah, that's it, man, honestly. And now we're here, and now I will jump into what we've been playing.
Oh yeah.
What we've been playing.
Oh
Jordan,
yeah.
you know, in between the time that you've been hiking and, you know, saving people around the world and all this other shit, you know,
Saving
and your Austin Martin and whatever, you know, but have you managed to squeeze in any video games? Have you been a normal citizen over the past week?
I'm so glad you asked, Mo, because yes, I have.
That's awesome.
I started Horizon Zero Dawn finally.
And you put it down, I heard.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. Yeah, just as quickly. No,
Really?
I did. No, I am going to play it, but I kept getting distracted, man. Every time I come online, it's like, oh, the boys are on Xbox, so you gotta hop on Xbox and get in the party. If you're missing out, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
But solid though. I've only played maybe 2 hours worth. Just got to the part where, like, you know, you go to that front of that door and they're like, oh, the All-Mother is talking to you, and you're like, no, it's a door. So I guess I'm gonna figure out now who or what my mom is. I don't know. But I love how it plays, though. The dinosaurs and the robots are really freaking interesting. I kept getting sidetracked. For some reason, I was firing up Onimusha Warlords on the Xbox, which is an ancient friggin' game.
Yes,
but
you
I
have.
love that game.
That is crazy, Jordan. I literally downloaded that and played like a small bit of it like a week ago, bro. It was so fucking random.
So
Good on you, Samurai.
it's a fun game, man. I played it to hell like so many times on the original Xbox, so I can, like, you know, close my eyes and do most of the stuff here. But man, the dialogue and the delivery is just so hilarious. Like, a door shuts. Samanosuke, what's going on? You appear to be trapped. Oh, shit, dude. Yeah, I beat that today. I got a A rating, and now I unlocked the panda suit, and now I'm running around with a damn panda suit.
Okay,
I also fired up Returnal again because you know, we got the whole suspend feature that's in there now, and I was actually playing at my buddy's place, helping him progress in his account. But man, that game still plays like a damn dream. It just reminded me that I need to go back and just get my proper ending to get all the sun statues figures. I know you guys haven't done that because you're not good at the game, but that's okay. That's about.
Is that a challenge?
Why do we
Fuck
this
this
guy?
podcast.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Yeah, but
Oh my god!
that's about it. I've been meaning to start the Forgotten City, Mo, but I know I keep getting distracted. But that'll be it.
Yeah, because you're a budge.
I'm sorry.
Budge.
Budge.
Budge. Yeah. Forgotten City, man. You should get on that, especially now that it's on. It's free on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
If you guys
So
haven't
much
played
free
Forgotten
stuff.
City, you definitely should. Absolutely.
Too much.
Oh yeah. Maddie, I can't wait till Friday either, man. I think we all can. Well, you're talking about, obviously, for Forza Horizon 5, the deluxe edition allows you to play it early access, and I think a majority of us are probably going to do that, my man. Speaking of early access, a little bit off topic, but there was some sort of leak today for Halo Infinite early access. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but it was on the store. I forgot which account posted it. It was making its way around Twitter, but apparently there's like a store listing for a Halo for an early access bundle, or I don't know what the hell it's called, but you can be damn sure a lot of us. I think all of us are going to probably be getting that one.
Oh yeah.
So the earlier the better. 3-bit, welcome, my man. Yes, you do. Yes, you should get Guardians, bro. Yes, you absolutely should. Oh yeah. Kevin.
Yo.
Now I go over to you, my fucking son. What you been playing, bro?
What's up? So I haven't played a whole lot. I did actually queue up Returnal, died like 46 times.
Awesome.
In 2.5 minutes.
All right.
Quit
No
that
change, huh?
right quick. Yeah, no, nothing. Then I queued up the Forgotten City and I fell asleep during the fucking intro
Oh,
loading
kiss
screens.
my ass, you uncultured bitch.
And so I quit that and I didn't play that. I honestly didn't get past the menu screen. I'm like, oh my god, this is so. And then I finally got my copy of. I went to the store. I went to my local Wally World, and I ran past the shotguns and the people, happy that they got their deer tags. And and then I ran past the crying babies. It was 8:30. I was in between meetings. 8:38 a.m. In between meetings, I ran over.
Look at the
and I'm like,
commitment,
yo,
my friends.
I know. I was like, yo, big motherfucker at the counter. Do you have Guardians of the Galaxy? And he was legit. He was like, yo, I don't know, but this is all I got today. Let me look. So he's ripping through boxes. He's like, I got two Xbox copies. And I'm like, all right, I want one. I asked for the steel case, but they do not have the steel cases at the store. That was like an online exclusive. But I wanted to get it because my shipment was delayed. So I picked it up and I was able to play it that night. I played through chapter 1 and I made it through chapter 2 a few days later. And I started I'm like midway through chapter 3 right now, and it's such a good experience. Like, that's really all I've played this week. I know it's not a whole lot. I probably like 3 hours in, two and a half hours in. I'm taking my sweet time, getting all the outfits and the suits and exploring all the little hidey holes and shit. It's very linear. It's very, cinematic driven, and that's okay. It's a good like palate cleanser, right? From everything else I've been playing, it's not grindy. It's just very nice, and the voice acting's just very good. And I was worried about that.
Yeah.
So that's really all I've been playing is a little bit of Guardians. I actually want to get back on that this week and maybe finish. You can hear my dogs are excited about the Guardians too. But yeah, man, like the character models don't bother me at all. I'm actually kind of getting used to Peter being a GQ model.
I like him,
and,
bro.
It's fine. I mean, I thought I'd have a problem with it, but then again, even after playing the Avengers a while, I got used to those models too, right? So it's all about just getting in there and forgetting the MCU cinematic shit, and just kind of getting used to what you're seeing there. So yeah, that's been it. I haven't been online much. I've just been really busy doing stuff. I'm actually, to be honest with you, we've been doing a bunch of like material selection and finalizing of stuff for my villa in the Dominican Republic that I am slowly, building. I'm going to be vacationing there this winter for a couple weeks, not at my actual place because they haven't started building it, but I'm finalizing all that shit. There's so much shit like, oh, what doorknob do you want? I'm like, I don't give a shit, but you can't say that, right? You can't be like, honey, just pick whatever you want. You got to have that balance. You can't be like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, oh, you're not interested. And you'd be like, well, I really want this. Compromise, so you gotta get in there and be like, oh, do you like that? Because I like that. That one's good. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, let's pick that one. So this is a skill you acquire after many years of marriage. That should be like we should do like a tips and tricks podcast too. I think we'd be good because we have lots of life experience here. In this, these
maybe we'll get like
four
or five
grown ass
people on
men.
that one too. Sure.
Anyway, Guardians, man, legit. I think it's underscored, to be honest.
Don't blow your load on it. We got it coming up as
it's good shit. It's good shit, man. It's good shit.
It is definitely. We address some of the stuff here. So this guy right here, this disgusting fucker. All right,
Who the hell said
digital
that?
whatever. Just pay zero attention to this type of blasphemy. Like seriously, man. We
wait until the servers go down.
Yeah, we just I don't know where we picked this guy up from. We just told him like, hey, we need a fourth. Can you fucking get on, man?
He was just good looking. We need somebody good looking.
You can't take it with you, boys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's absolutely. And Eric, I agree here. He says it's crazy how being linear went full circle from being a bad trait to a good trait over the last 15.
Good eye. Good eye.
You know what it is, man? I really think too it mostly has to do with our generation got older, responsibilities started piling up. marriage and kids, and then time starts to decrease, and you kind of start to appreciate more of the linear. I can at least speak for myself. You know, like, I mean, I love linear games. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, like, I mean, usually as soon as I hear big open world, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. But linear, it's like, oh, ooh, you got my ear.
Yes.
You know, so no, I agree with you there, man. And then of course here's Mr. Badbit, you know, just saying over and over the Xbox is dead. You know what I mean? So eventually, yeah, it's on its way. But not as bad as PlayStation though. So we already talked about, you know, chapter 11. Nick's over here saying he mainly goes physical for PS5 because you're a cultured fucking human being. That's why, unlike that shithead underneath me. Yeah, absolutely. Nick's my son. Mo brings the rage. Kevin brings the excitement. Jordan's the eye candy, and Mike is the sensible. And bro, that is like the perfect. Yeah. That's like shirt-worthy stuff right there.
Yeah.
Shirt-worthy.
My excitement, sensibility, eye candy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Mike.
Yo.
Besides what you've been watching and what you've been playing, and I know you're gonna bring the thunder, bro. So
I'll try to get into it. You know, I try to get into it. All right. So your basic Warzone, I'm about to shit on that game because I'm just over it, and it's like it's done when it's done. The new map doesn't have me excited because in my world, the upcoming first-person shooters such as Battlefield and Halo are going to kind of like overtake what Warzone is to me right now. And I feel like I'm making one of those like severed moves because a buddy of mine like really likes to play Warzone, and I'm like really trying to get him out to like other games, and he's enjoying other games, but you know that Warzone is always that constant. I like Warzone, you know, but there's just a time where it's like, you know, I've seen it, I've done it all or whatever, you know, for the most part, and like I'm good on it. I'll always like be thankful for Warzone for what it is, you know, and I'm always happy for like battle royales and stuff, but I think it's time to move on.
You have bombers attention, by the way, just FYI. You're speaking Warzone. Bomber, I got you.
Yeah, Bob, I love me some Warzone, bro. I'm about it, you know. And then Mortal Kombat. Now, I know I mention Mortal Kombat every week, and it's just like, oh, what the heck, Mike? But dude, that game just mentally, it's got so many fucking levels, especially if you want to master it, you know, and especially if you're playing in ranked against other individuals. Like, I literally feel like I'm learning something about that game every like day that I like look into it. Like, there's a way to like play when they're 3 feet away from you. There's a way to play and trade back and forth when they're up in their face, and depending on what variation you're using, it's literally great. Brizzle, see you in the tournament if you're still here, bro. Like I'm literally so deep into it where that like I'm kind of afraid to get into the fighting game community just because of like what I know of it. It is just so fucking cutthroat in there, you know, where it's just like if you're not willing to like get ready to talk shit and like be like, look at how big my pee-pee is all the time, like I'm not that's how it is, especially if it's like anywhere close to being entertaining or whatever. But anyways, there's just some good people who understand the game a lot more than I do, and I just want to get on that level because it's a fun game. And if they make a 12, like I just feel like I got that thing to like look forward to for a good portion of gaming, especially in that like fighting competitive area. And then I played Guardians, which we'll talk about here shortly. And then today, I wanted to start it yesterday because it was Halloween, but today I started it, so I was a little late. That game, Vampire, it was free on PlayStation Plus a few months ago. That game was very surprisingly, like right off the bat, I would say like 15 to 20 minutes in, you're already like, this is way better and bigger than what people said it was. Like, people were claiming like, oh, it's a AA. Oh, it's like just certain things about it that didn't appease me. And when I saw screenshots or trailers for it, I was like, it feels cool, it looks cool, but something's not hooking me. I didn't feel that there was enough like gameplay mechanics or like a leveling system exactly, because they started iterating more on the you talk to people and you try to establish relationships with them. Right. And depending on the relationships, like that's how your experience kind of progresses throughout the game or what have you. And that's what like intrigued me because mostly of Guardians of the Galaxy, because it does it so fucking good. All right. So I went back and played Vampire for the first like 2 hours. I got like the first 2 trophies or whatever it is, you know, the first good chunk of it or whatever. And I was just simply impressed, man. It gives you that vibe. You're in shit alleys of London. It's bloody. So let me just kind of break it down. Not too much spoilers, but just something that was really like what kind of made me like, yep, I'll be like into this game quite a bit. So you walk in the room, or like you're running from, because you just turned into a vampire, obviously, and you're running from people, and you walk into a room, a safe house, quote unquote, and you see like a dead body on the floor, and you're just like, oh, this is just some woman, and there's blood, and it's just like a whatever thing, you know? And you walk upstairs, you see another dead body, and obviously, like, he shot himself in the head because, like, the whole London area has a pandemic and people are changing or whatever. And so you pick up a piece of paper, and it's one of those lore things, you know, to where, like, if you didn't read it, you'd miss the whole, like, environmental story, basically, of what it's trying to tell you. And it's basically this dude had a sick wife. She is turning into a vampire, basically, and he locks himself in the room because she attacked him or whatever. And he stayed in the room for so long that he started to get hungry, probably, you know, suffering from starvation and stuff. And he goes downstairs where his wife is, you know, trapped in the house or whatever. And he says that she's just sitting on the couch or like on the chair, and like she can't move because she's a vampire by now. And she's so hungry that, you know, and she's like, just like watching me walk around the room. Yeah. Like, so he could get something to eat. And then he pointed the gun at her face. This is all written in diary format. And he pointed the gun at her face. He didn't shoot her, but she didn't care either way.
So what was the whole point of this? Like, it was just environment, like what, just telling the story through
notes. You know, because even to me, I just walked in, I was like, oh, they're just trying to show some gore, dead body on the floor, whatever. You walk upstairs, this guy
with a story.
Yeah, this guy committed suicide, whatever, like, you know, whatever.
I got you.
And then I read the thing and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
environmental story.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And
man.
I like, my heart sank and I was like, ooh, that's dark, bro. That's dark.
Yeah.
You keep progressing and it gets pretty good. Like, the story is there. It's like Guardians, to where it's like constantly giving that drip of information with dialogue or the environment around you. Like if you click your vampire vision on enemies, it shows you their weakness. It shows you their level. It shows you like what type of enemy they are. And I was like, this is what? I was like, I didn't get any of this whenever like people were talking about it.
They may have made improvements to the game too, since it was released. Because I remember the combat was the weakest aspect of it. That's why
it's clunky.
Yeah, it's still clunky. That's
it is like delayed. So like when you see the guy like wind up for an attack, like if you
I noticed that when I played too.
Okay, if you press it when he's approaching you, you'll get hit because the delay is like half a second. Like
fuck
game.
that.
Yeah, you know, but it is.
Yeah, a lot of these,
I don't know if it's better than what it was, but like
it probably is.
I had a good time with the combat. I was like, whoa, it's delayed a little bit. Like, okay, let me. You know, you are a little clunky.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. Because I remember, the inputs were delayed. Jordan. Yeah, I'm telling you, because I remember the inputs were slightly delayed, and I used to be able, because I knew the combos by heart, and it used to just let you put in the entire combo, and you would see it happening after you're inputting it, right? Like you could literally put in the entire combo into the keypad, or into the gamepad, and then you would see it all happen. Like it wasn't it wasn't completely 1-to-1.
Sure.
But yeah, that was back then. So,
Mike, are you gonna finish that game? You think?
I feel like I am, because it hits those dark Bloodborne little notches that I like to be hit. Like, ooh,
that's good.
It fell under my radar but looking back at it now, it's Don't Nod, the same guys that do the Life is Strange franchise. Okay. But they also made a game that I did actually play years ago, Remember Me.
Okay,
it was like a sci-fi. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They had that same issue where the combat input was like super delayed.
PS3, but it was super delayed. Yeah.
Like you kind of got to anticipate what you're going to be doing, because even like square is your hatchet, but triangle is like a quick stake stab, and then R1 is your vampire claw swipe, and then L1 is like you hit your chest and you regain energy or life or whatever. And the writing is so good. So there's this part where you have to go in a house because the sun's coming up or whatever, and you try to walk out one door, and he says, because you're a vampire and it's showing like your perspective of being a vampire.
Yeah.
He's like, the sun is hitting the door and it feels like it's a physical weight and I can't open it. I was like, I've
That's
never,
pretty cool.
lore wise and vampire
Yeah.
like perspective.
Cool,
You don't
Mike.
really hear like that. Not even in movies. Like movies don't even dive that deep. But
That's
yeah,
cool,
it's
man.
it's a very, very surprisingly better game than what people and what I like read. Yeah, it was cool. Good.
That's
little
awesome,
experience.
dude. I'm glad to hear that. You got some people here that are backing you up too. Well, Bobby, my brother, good to see you here. He said they improved the frame rate and glitches, but combat is a drag.
Yeah, they shadow dropped a PS5 and Series X update
Yeah, they
like
did.
2 weeks ago. So it
They
kind of
did.
like put it on the radar for me.
And then Bomber here is saying it's really not that bad, honestly. Once you get used
Yeah,
to
I
it, it's
agree.
fine. The story aspect just outshines it. Yeah, that's what
Bomber.
they're saying.
Bomber doesn't like God of War though, so
Yeah, I know, but you don't
how
like
much-
Witcher 3, so you know.
no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm still on this podcast, so
Yeah, yeah. That's
touche,
true, man.
touche.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know. Doom
can't
Killer,
all be
nice to see you
perfect.
here, man. Good to see you.
Boom.
This is Slider Hands. Brad sent me here. Hey, man, whether Brad sent you or whether you stumbled,
Nice.
welcome.
Welcome,
Nice.
sir. Welcome.
Sorry that you know Brad.
Oh, we love Brad. Brad's my
No,
boy.
Then we got obviously, then we got Luke and Joe just battling it out again in the chat.
Luke's grounded.
Kids. I love you
Kids.
guys. Diego, thanks for hanging out, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good
Yeah,
one.
Diego, have a good one, man.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So what I'm gonna do is, because I'm the only thing I've really played is Guardians of the Galaxy this
Segue,
week.
baby.
We'll
Do
just
it.
segue it into the next. We'll segue it into the next whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, segment or whatever. So here's the way it was with Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm sure a lot of people had the same exact experience, because Kevin and I had the same experience. We looked at the game. You're jaded by Avengers. Luke, I'm sorry. I know you're here. Okay, you're jaded by Avengers. All right, same publisher, different studio, but same publisher. You're like, okay, whatever. You see some things, you're like, okay. Walmart comes out with a really cool steelbook, and then there's the deluxe edition with its own steelbook. I'm like, okay, I'll pre-order it. Let me just get it, just in case. Maybe the game will be good, And then I canceled my pre-order, and then I pre-ordered it again, and I got it a day late, and I was very ashamed. I was ashamed of that.
Same.
But game comes out, scores an 81 average on OpenCritic, and I've yet to meet a person who has played the game that hasn't enjoyed it yet, and that is really a nice surprise. This game has definitely been one of the nicer surprises of the year, in terms of. That's the best thing about it, right? Because the games that you're not expecting much from, and they end up being good, those are usually the best types of experiences. And I'm not going to sit here and it's not like some sort of masterpiece. Don't get me wrong, but for what the game is and what it's trying to do, I think it's excellent. It's a linear experience. It's very fun. It's a beautiful game. Color palette is fantastic. The characters themselves, the character models are beautiful. The world is beautiful. They did a great job with the detail as well. And because it's linear, they were able to put more of those. They were able to focus more on those details. Kind of like how how Uncharted became really, or how Naughty Dog became famous for, with their older games. With the details. So. Yeah, man, the banter between the characters is excellent. The dialogue is excellent. The character models are awesome. They don't make you look at them or question the way they look or question the way that they sound. I've talked about this before. I'm not a comic book junkie at all. I don't know really comic books. I'm a filthy casual when it comes to it. My experience with comic related stuff is movies and video games. But I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I thought they were excellent, the way they were done. I like James Gunn. I like his style, and this game is as if like James Gunn just decided to create a video game. And there are some people who think that they actually like it better. They like these characters and their banter better, than the James Gunn movies, which really says a lot about the game itself. So, yeah, combat is fun. It's not very deep, you can't you can't switch around between the guardians, but there are a lot of opportunities, to add to the lore. You can walk around the ship, you can talk to them, you can get their backstory. Like yesterday I talked to Rocket, and he told me his backstory about like that spine thing that he had attached to him when he was imprisoned, and how they did all these experiments on him and shit. I'm like, this is cool, man. This is, you don't expect that in a game like this. So I'm glad to see this doing well, because I really think Square needed this in terms of like kind of, getting their, just helping out their
repertoire. Yeah.
Not their repertoire, man. They're fucking their my God, but I'm like completely blanking out right now. But just with the fan service itself for the Marvel universe, especially after the Avengers, after what you did with it, after what they did with it, this really just helps out their reputation in terms of at least getting back in people's good graces with it. And again, it's not going to knock anything out of the park. It's not really doing anything new. But my experience with it so far, for what it is and for what I was expecting it to be, is awesome. Like that's honestly, like I went from initially buying the deluxe edition and being like, shit, I hope I don't regret paying $80 for this, to now saying like, fuck yeah, man, that was worth it. And I'm not even done with the game, but still, so I'm enjoying it. Jordan, you fucking suck, and I know you haven't played the game yet. So let me just, I know. So let me just, actually, I want your input. Are you planning on it, or are you really?
What's an outside
honestly
perspective like?
Yeah. So let me just say, first of all, can we all agree that their first showing was terrible of that game?
Yeah,
It was
Fighting a jelly cube. What the hell was that?
I know.
I actually fought those last night.
Okay, so did it look more fun? Was it more fun doing it than it actually looked to watch?
It was. It was still
It
weird.
was fun.
but-
Yeah,
but it was fun.
yeah. There's like
You
some.
still tell yourself like, I'm fighting a cube.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So all jokes aside, though, I was like you guys. I was terribly skeptical of this game, but yeah, I wanted to be wrong, and it seems like I am. I'm glad everyone that I've spoken to, like you said, Mo, is enjoying this game. So yeah, that definitely pushes me over to the side of like saying, okay, maybe I will actually pick this up. Like Eric had mentioned earlier, though, there probably will be a sale, and that'll probably be on the side to scoop it up. I was nervous about seeing Eidos Montreal do a game like this, because it's kind of a little bit out of their wheelhouse, but it seems like they're taking it and running with it. And I think one of their strengths seems to be the writing. So, and that's one of their hallmarks with their games. They have a lot of great dialogue and voice acting, and just characterization and story beats. So, yeah, I'm glad the game is kind of putting Square Enix, at least from a Marvel perspective, in a better light now.
Yeah, that's really what you really touched on, and it's just because of the studio's pedigree, in terms of their writing, and that's why they really did such a great job with again, like between the character dialogue and the banter and whatnot. So I thought that was awesome. Nick's here. Before I move on to you, Kevin, Nick's here mentioned I'm playing it through 60 FPS, not that 30 FPS trash. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. I wasn't one of those people that complained, actually, maybe I would call it complaining. I don't know. Okay. When they said 1080p 60, I understand, but that's just the price that you have to pay to play in 60 FPS. Like regarding this game is a visual feast for the eyes. The way I looked at it was, I did not pay $500 for these consoles to play a game in 1080p. You can call me an asshole. You can call me an elitist. You can tell me I have my pinky up in the air. I don't care, right? Like for me, I'm like, I'm going to get the visuals out of this thing, and I'm going to fucking enjoy it, whether I like it or not. And believe it or not, it's actually not bad, man. I am playing it in the quality mode. It is 30 FPS. It's really not detracting from my experience at all.
Good.
The only way it will detract from my experience is if I switch to 60. Once I switch to 60 and I feel it, that's when I'll be like, ah, shit. Then I won't be able to, what's it called? But as long as I stay in 30 and where I'm at, and I feel like they do a good job, in terms of the motion blur. I'm not really missing a beat with the combat itself. It doesn't feel slower. It doesn't feel clunky. I know it would feel better. Everything feels better in 60. But for me, I just really wanted to keep that visual quality. I have a I have an OLED, that I bought when these consoles launched. I'm like, I want to see this, man. Like like this is why we are degenerates, because we want to enjoy this shit.
Yep.
So yeah, I actually played Ratchet and Clank in quality mode too.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say. Don't
wondering,
forget.
I
You
really
wanted to
don't
see
care.
those ray trace nuts and bolts.
Yeah, the ray trace nuts and bolts.
Guys,
Absolutely,
look at the reflections on these nuts.
Yeah, they were amazing though. That was some badass ray tracing.
Guys are
It was
such
pretty cool.
12-year-olds.
I know.
Shut your mouth.
Pretty much every game I run 4K 60
Holy
120
mom.
is worth the trade-offs. I agree with you, man. I'm not really too high on the 120 FPS. Even when I first used to game on PC a lot, and even like it's cool when you see the FPS tick into the 90s or whatever, but I'm like, this isn't really adding to my experience. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. So I agree with you there. And Nyx, I do agree. No excuse for 1080p. Should be at least 1440. That's what Kevin and I were talking about.
I thought I
initially.
heard that they're working on a 1440.
They might be.
mode.
Honestly, they might be, man. Because if you really look what Insomniac did a couple
And
weeks after Ratchet and Clank, I think they can. They might be able to squeeze a little bit out. But Kevin, before I get to you, like 2 weeks after Ratchet and Clank came out, they managed to squeeze out an extra 10 FPS out of the quality mode. So they got it up to running at a native 4K 40. So it ain't 60, but it's better than 30. I can tell you that. All right, Kevin, you tell me, man. How's your experience been with it so far?
Oh shit, man! I talk too much. I talk too much in the other segment, but I love this game. I'm on chapter 3. I think my only complaint is technically, right? I wish there was a 60 FPS mode at 1440p or some sort of dynamic 4K or some shit like that, right? Because the 1080p looks rough. I mean, I'm sitting like 2 feet away from my TV, so that's not gonna happen. And then when I first put it on 4K 30, shit was like a PowerPoint presentation until my eyes got adjusted to it, and that takes like 10 minutes or so, and pretty soon you don't notice it in this game because it is slow.
What an asshole.
It is cinematic, and there's no fast action really. I mean, yes, some of your teammates do fast, quick actions, but you're running slow. The navigating is fairly slow. Everything's kind of slow and cinematic and very Uncharted like. That's kind of the best way to describe it, right? Because Uncharted was always 30, and I never hated it. And I never noticed it as much. Now, if you play it in 60 and then go back to 30, sure. But yeah, I really do wish it was 60. There is a fluidity in 60 that once you experience, it's hard to come back from. But I'm playing 4K 30, and thank God for the human perception and the way your eyes and brain do their magic. Because I haven't been noticing it. It hasn't, detracted from my gameplay. And I think it is in part because of how the game plays and how it's really just every action's kind of deliberate. And we're still better off than those poor people playing in cloud mode on their Switches. So just be aware of that and count your blessings. Although people have been liking the fact that they're even able to play on the Switch. So I guess there's that. But I know it seems like torture to me. I don't think I could do it, man. But the character's great. I found myself laughing out loud at some of, I've always liked Drax, and some of the shit he says is incredible, man. Is incredible. And I'm sitting here like, all right, like that's Drax, and Gamora sounds like Gamora, and Groot is Groot, Rocket's Rocket. I mean, the hardest one was probably Peter, and I think they even nailed that. They just nail it, man. They really nailed all the characters, and that's so important. And the way that it is single player, I just wish, God, man, I wish this released first, because I think everybody does have the Avengers sour taste in their mouth, and that's got to be affecting their sales. I think even subconsciously, it's got to be affecting their sales. Even if it wasn't the same publisher, or it's just another superhero game that came out after this Avengers struggle, the struggle bus that was Avengers. But yes, no, man, get this game. I don't know at this point, the way I'm going through the chapters, I'm thinking it's probably like 15 hours maybe. You know, I'm just guessing. I haven't even read the reviews to see how long it is, but I'm thinking about 15, 20 hours maybe. So worth it. And the steel case was beautiful from Walmart. Oh, such a nice steel
Yeah,
case,
it's
all
nice.
colorful and shit. Yeah. So yeah, go out there and
Yeah,
buy this game, or wait for it to come on Game Pass
it'll
in
go on sale.
2023.
Yeah, it'll go on sale eventually soon. Bomber here too. Yeah, he said he didn't buy it because of Avenger sale. You're not alone, bro. I mean, yeah, that's really what Kevin was touching on just now. You know what I mean? It's that's why he said like it really would have been really better if it would have launched first. You know, just because of the way that that was you know, the reception to that game. But yeah. But yeah, man, here, Nick said it. He's like, we assumed it's coming from Square. It will be bad, but the devil's in the details. Different development team. Yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, yeah. Look, Montreal is an excellent studio. You know, historically they've been an excellent studio. So they really, really did. They really put they put their work into this game, and it definitely shows. Mike, our comic aficionado, man, this is all you. So what do you think so far? You know, for someone like you who's grinded hundreds of hours into Avengers, so how you know? Granted, you can't grind in this game, but how are you liking it so far?
Pretty good. I am on chapter 9.
Wow,
And
okay.
every time I sit down and play it, it's lights off, it's quiet, and I'm ready to like experience whatever this game has to offer, right? So I'm playing it like how, you know, focused in the zone basically whenever I play it.
Yeah.
Like I'm in that Guardians mindset, that sci-fi mindset. And it's pretty good. So I want to hit on some of the things that I don't like about it at first, and then I'll roll into the good, because the don't likes are just like little bitty things here and there. All right, so let's talk about the story real quick and how it is linear. Yep, got you. So honestly, man, if it was any other game, maybe, like if it didn't have that Marvel tagline, if it didn't have the Guardians of the Galaxy on it, I would be like, whatever. Like, because to me, I don't play games to sit there most of the time. Like, I want to be pressing buttons and doing my combos, feeling cool, whatever, you know? But for some reason, this game, and it's not one absolute thing. It's a culmination of what the formula they're bringing in. It's a culmination of everything that it's like bypassing. It's not just the Guardians or the Marvel IP. It's how Montreal did this game. And I like say that as like it's a downfall, because if it wasn't, I would say like, yeah, it's linear and like there's no branching off, there's none of that. Like, okay, like I'm not saying I wouldn't like that, but I am saying like I prefer something besides that. And then like later on in the game, about chapter 6 or so, I was having some tearing or low frame drop issues, and then I would have, and I'm playing on the PlayStation 5, and I'm having this thing where you would walk up to a door, the door wouldn't be there until Rocket messes with it, and then it shows up, and then it will open. And like, I've only had that happen twice. And besides that, I was jumping on some boxes, and that's all I have bad to say, by the way. Let's roll into the goods. So the good thing is that 10 minutes in, I was jumping on boxes to really just like feel out how linear it is, because you can branch off and explore a little bit, and they reward you for that, which is excellent. I really like that. And I've even missed some collectibles, I'm sure, because I see people with suits at a certain part of the game that I'm at, and I don't have that suit yet or whatever. But anyways, I was jumping on boxes. I got stuck in a corner, and I couldn't, like, I was just jumping. I'm like, I'm fucking stuck. I'm like, this is trash. Why wouldn't they just close that in or put a box there or something like that? It instantly loaded for me again, and my character ended up in the middle of the pathway. And I was like, hey, I'm in good spirits because of that. You know what I mean? I thought that was going to be some jank that I had to deal with, but no, man. Like, if Peter dies or whatever, like, you're like right back there. There is no like delay in that, and it keeps the flow going. So let's talk about that real quick. That's like one of the best things about this game is the way they did the linear side of it, but the drip feed of lore, the drip feed of information. Like, dude, they are fucking talking all the time, bro. They are yelling, hey, get over here. Like, hey, that'd be fun. All the time, dude. I swear those voice actors were in the studio like 7 days out of the week, bro. 18 hours a day had to be for them to have these moments to where it's like they will make fun of you when you walk away and try to explore an area. Like, yo, Quill, where are you going, man? And he's like, oh, I just want to, I'm just checking things out over here, blah, blah, blah. And then you get the item. Then you like take the path returning to the main group and they're like, hey, did you find what you're looking for? And you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. They make fun of each other on such awesome levels that it makes you laugh. It feels realistic. The banter, like everybody says that the banter.
I like that.
When people say the banter is great, it's really what they're saying is the drip feed of like humor and lore, comic like information and stuff like that. They mention shit that is like, oh, I know that from the comics, which is awesome.
Cool.
It was so good because I forgot I was playing a Marvel like game. I was just in a space world, and so when they mention those hard-hitting Marvel like things, I'm like, dude, they mentioned Lady Death. Like, that is awesome, bro. Like, that was the original in the comics why Thanos started his galactic killing spree with the Infinity Gauntlet, was because of the embodiment of Lady Death, not because of whatever the MCU made up or whatever. That's kid shit, to be quite honest. That's just like let's make it so like massive audiences can understand it. Okay, like too much population. Cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, the graphics plus that lighting is crazy, man. Like, the photo mode isn't as good as I want it to be. It's like as good as Spider-Man, but it's still pretty good because you get some beaming, like bright lights, darks, like the photo mode is crispy. You can still do quite a bit with it. So the combat picks up, guys. Okay. About chapter 6, 7, 8, or 9 or so. Like, there is literally a moment where you upgrade your characters and because you have more than one move your character can do because you're like the team leader or whatever. And so you L1 hotkey it, you press on Groot's whatever, and then you have 3 moves that Groot can do.
Oh, really? Well, I
Yeah,
only have
and
one right now for each one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm still early, but yeah.
Right. But it does pick up. And there is a moment where you this thing happens or whatever. And there's this moment where you upgrade your characters and this is it. Like, this is where combat all of a sudden like gets heavy. And it's a whole combat portion, that entire chapter. And I was like, hey, that combat thing that I was going to hit on where it's like boring and slow is not there anymore. And I just kind of feel like maybe they could have like brought that a little earlier in the game than in chapter like 6, 7, or 8 or whatever, because it is a lot of cutscenes and it is a lot of talking and it is a lot of that like I need to like pay attention and focus so I understand the story and stuff like that. On the conversation side, the options to pick changes the way the story goes, dude. Like, for example, like I was talking to 2 individuals and depending on what I did, I received an item and I did that pathway. I received the item and it was a key basically. And I was able to use that key item to open a door to get like extra stuff like a little bit later on. It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, now you got the key, go to this door right here. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh, because you received the key from so-and-so, you now have access to this portion of the ship or whatever. And I was like, dude, this is so cool, man. And you pick up little items that your team like relate on. And for comic book heroes, they really hit some personal, real world like scenarios, like depression, mental health, and stuff like that. And these are warriors, so it's like, that's fucking true, man. Like, that's cool. I like seeing Gamora be like the most lethal assassin, and it's just like, she has Thanos problems, sister problems, stuff like that. Drax has family problems, stuff like that. Rocket Raccoon has like internal cybernetic and like torture issues.
He's a psycho.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And like I never knew that the Guardians of the Galaxy, like I never knew like one of their main lines was like the arguing and the banter between each other. Like some, especially in the second movie at least, just kind of like rotating into like just general Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Rocket be saying some shit where you're like, man, if I was there, I'd grab you by your little furry head and like knock you across the wall or something, because it's like, damn, man, like you were just fucking with Peter, like hardcore, or whatever. And yeah, dude, it's just good, man. And like when they huddle up during combat, you get like a power boost and he's like, guys, like we can do this. And you have, but what you pick is based off of what they say to you. So it's like, and if you pick wrong, you only get the power up. If you pick correctly, your whole team gets the power up. And so it's just like, I don't know, relationships, man. Like, I never really was interested in that in gaming. I was more just about the combat and the cool visuals and stuff like that.
Nice,
But Guardians really brings that next level of information mixed with visuals, mixed with like gameplay later on down the line.
Eidos,
you
baby.
know? But yeah. Oh, and one last thing. That's pretty much all I got in Guardians. It is Mitt, son. Mitt is shit. Okay, but one last thing, okay? So Skydance Media, this is a film company. They have created a new side like media thing, and it's led, their president is Amy Hennig. And she is the writer behind Uncharted, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. You know, that shit, that is a new thing. And they are making a AAA Marvel game. And word on the street, what people are saying, it might potentially be a Daredevil open world game. But anyways, that Skydance, they do a lot of movies. They produce a lot of movies that I'm into. Like Jack Reacher, True Grit, yeah, just Terminator Dark Fate, Six Underground. Like, I like all those movies, you know what I mean? And they're making a AAA game. So Marvel, dude, Marvel is going to be coming through for the years to come. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get, like, I know there's some dude, he's like the lead Marvel game guy who, like, he's the liaison for, like, every studio that they go to and, like, hey, this is what we're making and stuff like that. I would not be surprised, man, if they try to do with Spider-Man or something like that where they did with the MCU, where they start it and then they, like, build up and it's, like, this big thing. And yes, I do believe that if they release Guardians first and they gave like the general public like a feeling of like, okay, so I'm a single player, like I'm playing a single player game right now. This is very cool, but ooh, it would be so cool to play as the other characters and then Avengers. And it wouldn't really matter if the game was like the shit quality that it is. You'd just be like, hey, I'm just happy I could play it. You know, and it would have been different. But yeah, Marvel's coming through. DC needs to do something.
We got Halo,
like that.
Mike. We got Halo.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll
spend another hour on Halo.
That's enough Marvel out of you, bro.
All right, sorry.
I love you, Mike.
Golly.
I know you could go for 4 hours, man. So you spit fucking poetry, baby. I appreciate it. Where are we at right now? Got up. All right. Yeah. All right, Bomber. Have a good night, man. Thanks for being with us. For whoever was asking, Mike, you didn't finish the game yet, did you?
No, I think I'm like right there though. Feels like it.
Oh yeah, it was Matt. He was asking how long the game takes, and I know
There you go, 15, 20.
here answered 15 to 20 hours. That's pretty good. That's
good
not bad. All right, boys. Wow. We sang some praise. We sang some fucking. We showered some praise on Avengers, man.
Yeah, we're not even getting
awesome.
a kickback.
Oh
That's
yeah,
bullshit.
shit. Mike is the one that should be getting that kickback, not us, bro. All right. Let's see. Halo. So we're getting into Halo. Look, guys, you've seen all the shows over the past week. You've seen all of the breakdowns. You know, we're not going to break down the trailer itself or, you know, what we saw, just general impression in terms of like what we think. You know, we've talked about before about where we were last year, how our impressions were. I remember when we saw the fucking trailer, when Mike and I just sat here behind the camera and we were just bitching, you know, like in terms of the visual quality. And here we are 1 year later. So obviously, yeah, they dropped a new campaign trailer last week. It was received very, very well, as we all know. And really what they wanted to just touch on was, I mean, it seems like they're going in the proper, you know, in the proper direction with the story. That's a lot, you know, what a lot of us Halo nerds just really wanted, you know, in terms of just like a better, more cohesive story. The visuals themselves, they seem like they've really, you know, they put their money where their mouth is, especially after the, you know, all of the criticism that they received last year, and it's looking phenomenal, honestly. It's not going to, you know, compared to what it was, it's a beautiful game now. You know, I mean, they really worked on the lighting. They really worked on the textures, you know, the textures and the lighting and the character models, just everything looks so fantastic now compared to where it was. And then obviously, they showed you some of the sandbox gameplay and, a lot of these little details. And, they showed some of the open world, the map itself, and how there was like some icons or like some bases that you take over. I was on Game On Daily on Saturday, and this was a conversation that came up, and I was saying, I'm like, I don't mind, look, this is obviously a self-contained world. It's going to be a map that is on a ring, so we're not going to get something, that's ridiculously huge, like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed. I don't believe that they're going to tie in, stupid collectathons or whatever it is like those games as well. My only hope with these is they'll all tie them into the narrative, somehow in some way, and I do believe that they will. If there's a base that you take over where you collect resources and whatnot, I think they're going to find a way to cohesively marry that into the narrative, right, where it fits and it makes sense, like Ghost of Tsushima and some of those, those specific side quests, the purple side quests that were just awesome, and they brought a lot of depth into the quests themselves. And I think they'll do that here as well. For anybody who was worried about it, oh, look, they're peppering icons across the map. We've never seen an open mission structure in Halo before. We've never seen 343 tackle it this way before. And I always say it, if we think we love Halo, the people that are making it love this, this franchise a lot more than we do. They love this series and these characters a lot more than we do. And, I think they're going to do it justice, to be honest with you. I was very impressed with what I walked, just with what I saw and what I walked away with, and not to retread again, everything that, that was said or that was shown. You can watch the trailer. It's like 6.5 minutes, but they showed, they showed new characters. They showed, I keep forgetting, the Spartan killer with the two red blades, and they showed Craig, who looks fucking awesome now,
Yes,
compared to where he was. Obviously the upgrade, the skill, the upgrades, it's kind of like an upgrade tree for Chief's armor as well, which is going to be pretty cool. There's a lot, man. There's a lot, there's a lot that you can really, delve into. And in terms of the lore itself, who knows where they're going to get into it. We always talk about, who's going to be the final boss. Is it going to be Escharum? Yeah. Are they going to close the loop? And is it going to be Atriox? Or is it going to be Harbinger, who's one of the other new characters that they showed? So I'm really, really excited to see where it goes. Jordan, you're another Halo freak, so I know you've seen it multiple times already, like I have. Well, what did you think so far, man? Did this sing to you, bro?
Yeah, dude. It lit a fire in my heart,
Yes, it did, bro.
I've only watched it 4 times, and I'm not gonna watch it anymore just because I'm at the point where I'm just like, I want to experience everything now. I don't want to like dissect every little detail. Where does this icon mean on this map, or what's this character gonna do? One of the cool takeaways from that campaign overview was the fact that they kind of revisited a few of those sequences we saw from the initial reveal, like that part where they first showed Craig. They showed the 2 brutes dropping in on that like lift he was approaching. It looked it was really cool, kind of getting like almost like a side by side, like a then and now comparison, like right then and there. So I thought that was really neat how they incorporated that initial launch, but again in an updated fashion. I'm really interested to see how this kind of open-ended mission structure plays out. I just want everything to be narratively compelling, which, based off of what 4 made us feel as Halo fans, I think they can, recapture that. But again, it's just going to be a new sort of challenge for them, given that it's an open world structure. But beyond that, like I said, I've seen enough of the game. It's just a waiting. It's just a matter of time now.
Yeah,
man, I'm
I know.
excited.
I know, and again, it's good sometimes you end up jumping late into the Xbox party chats with me and Ains because like we're always talking about that shit, bro.
Yes.
Hey, did you see the Palace of Pain? Or like even things like this, right? Like with how Mike, I fucking love you. Thanks for playing it. We're not gonna get DMCA'd, right? These assholes won't. Are they gonna take us down, Mike?
I hope not. I don't think so. Not for Halo.
Oh shit. Anyway, yeah, man, just a little, even the little things that they showed with Cortana in his hand and him having a flashback, and they're gonna really dive into that too. But yeah, god damn it, That's all I can say. Kevin, where you at with this, bro? You know,
I was just
like you got
listening
a
to you
lot to
guys
say.
just reminisce about your Halo days. There was a lot of excitement. I thought it looked better, and I enjoyed the 6 minutes and 20 whatever seconds of it. I heard some slander across the Twitter sphere as well. People are still not impressed and will never be impressed
Yeah, they can kiss
until
my
this.
ass.
But having played the flight, I'm excited for this, and I will play it, and I will more than likely enjoy it. So I mean, I'm happy with what I saw. Again, this is one of the biggest projects I think in video games.
Yep.
Undertaking it with so many different sets of hardware and so much shit going on. I don't envy these devs at all doing this shit. And I honestly think that that we're gonna see, since this is a long-term deal, that we're gonna see some like Destiny Taken King type of shit where we're gonna lose the Xbox One eventually, and it won't be supported any longer.
Cloud.
And as yeah, they can support through cloud, sure. But hardware wise, I think there'll be a cutoff, at some point down the line, and then I wonder what it could really look like. The only thing that I'm disappointed with throughout this whole thing, I've heard tons of slander, but honestly, the only thing I want to see, and I bet you they have it, and we're gonna see it, are like different biomes, right? If you remember the 2018 E3 trailer, they showed all those different biomes, right? I want to see that, and I bet you we're gonna see it once we actually play it. But we've only really seen kind of that Pacific Northwest
Yes.
pine tree stuff, right? So far, so I'm wanting to see what they do with swamps and deserts and beaches and oceans and shit like that. So I'm excited to see that. I know that they don't want to ruin everything. Obviously, like watching a trailer to an action movie is basically watching the whole movie type of thing. Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. It's getting closer and closer, and I think it's going to be a fun Christmas time for a lot of Halo fans.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there on the biomes too. I know people have been bringing it up. I actually brought that up on the first Halo roundtable that I did with with Ains and SG, because I remember talking about that. I was like, there's no way this is all going to be Pacific Northwest. They got to show at least like looking Pacific Northwest looking. Like they got to show other biomes. I mean, Halo is known for that, so. Because I remember at the time we were talking, we were like, "Hey, so look, are they going to introduce like different enemy types in all the biomes?" But now, as far as we know, the Banished have total control of the ring. So how's that going to play? It's going to be fascinating, man. I'm with you there, though. The biomes thing for sure. And I don't know, if it's going to be addressed in this campaign or not. How long is this campaign? And how much are they going to do? And how much of the story are they going to tie in if this is supposedly a 10-year platform? So we'll see. But I do hope. Like I'm giving them a lot of. They have really, really impressed in the past year. I'll tell you that. We keep saying it and we'll keep repeating it. The delay and the slap in the face is probably the best thing that ever happened to this game, and maybe this studio. So we'll see. Mike, my fucking son. Mike was completely zoned out. I love you, bro.
Yo, this thing right here looks awesome. Whenever I watched it, I was like, I felt that new video game trailer, like every shot was intriguing to me. Every shot was something that I haven't seen before, that feeling or whatever. I haven't played Halo Hardcore since 3. I played Reach and all the others up to 5 casually, like with you guys. That was a good time too, by the way. Halo 5. That was so fucking hardcore.
That was a bitch, man.
Yeah, I remember that take area. So what I'm wondering about the biomes and stuff, now that you guys mention it, like, are they going to do something to where it's like you got an open world area and then like you go off planet or off like section of the ring to another biome potentially? Or is this one big map and it's just going to flow into that next, like now I'm like going into the desert, You know, do you know that, Jordan? Is it just one big
I-
map, or is
I-
it like
we don't-
potential,
we-
like you
we
load
don't.
into
No
several
idea,
big
bro.
maps?
Yeah, we
You
don't
know
we
what I
don't
mean?
know. I would kind of like it to be where kind of like the whole self-contained large open areas, because then you can, they can be more visually distinct in that sense of it, and it's not nearly as overwhelming when you have like a big one gigantic friggin' map to work with. Kind of like in self-contained areas like you'd see in God of War, or even like Metro Exodus. They're big.
Like, yeah, you would
maps,
like
but-
take like a little thing, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is that area or
Yes.
whatever. Okay, or like a
that's what I'm
ship
hoping.
or something like that. I really like that. Like, I feel like it would be. I don't even want to say this honestly, but I'm going to, like Assassin's Creed, maybe, to where you like come up on an outpost, maybe you kind of see that it needs to be cleared out, and then you like just kind of rotate on to the next thing, potentially getting more gear or more experience for upgrades or something at that outpost, whatever it may be. You can choose to bypass, and then there's those obvious like story objectives that you're going to take. It looked really cool, man, to me. And it's one of those things, just looking at Chief 2, it's one of those things, it's like, it's funny how wear and tear can just make it seem that much more realistic. Or, those little scratches on his armor and stuff can make it pop just a little bit more, or at least make it look like it belongs in the story. Because that super clean green Master Chief look, I really like it or whatever, but it does seem like he's kind of like an action figure, you know what I mean? But with this wear and tear, it looks like, oh, he moves in the suit, he like sits down on walls and it rubs, and his chest and like his visor and stuff like that, like that realistic little bit about it, I like it a lot. Throwing the barrels, though, that was probably my favorite part about it. When he is just flowing through, being, the Spartan warrior that he is, like, that's cool. Like, I look at these scenes and I know what it feels like in my hand from the beta or whatever. And I'm like, that's going to be fun. Just flowing through, like, oh, I need a vehicle. When they drop that plane, it's just like clunk. I thought that was funny. Like, that's cool. Like, it's just an item, cool. And coming off of Halo Wars and then, like, about to get into what you were telling me about last week, Mo, like, I've thought about that since we talked about it, the Halo Wars 2.
Yes.
Luke said he was playing that earlier today, right? That's
Yeah, he
awesome.
was. Yeah,
He's
there's
like
a
getting
lot
into
more.
it big. Oh, okay.
More in Halo Wars 2, man. You need to watch.
I'm definitely gonna be watching that, especially with like the sci-fi trip I'm on right now. This is all interesting to me. This new chick trying to find Cortana and stuff like that. Like, it looks great, and it looks like, to me, I was really surprised to see the negative feedback about it. And honestly, to me, that stuff like is neither here nor there. To me, I was just like, wow, man, y'all literally just choose to be like complaining about everything and anything, or whatever. But as Halo, so when it comes out, I'm just thinking about like the impact it's going to have on gamers, like in general, Xbox gamers and themselves. I know I have buddies now who are considering getting an Xbox here soon because of Halo, because the exclusive and stuff like that. Halo's going to be big. It's going to be real big. And I feel like if people don't think Halo is going to be big, then I'm curious about what they follow in the gaming world. This is very impactful. This is the new generation of gaming. It's a new generation of Xbox. Like, I always say this when it comes to Halo Infinite, is like, it's the new Xbox thing. It's what's going to make Xbox like really stick out, I think. Like we talked about last week, like PlayStation doesn't really have those first-person shooters, and I damn well am sure they don't have any first-person shooters that feel like this, because this is some solid gameplay. The guns feel good. The way Master Chief moves feel good. I hope they got everything squared away for launch, because I'm ready to hit that multiplayer hard as shit when it comes out, man. I cannot wait for those days, man. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this.
Yeah, man. No doubt, dude. I think we all are. And yeah, just even the little things, like we're watching right here with the trailer, these little mini bosses and the life gauge that they have, and then even like the little quips he has, when he's talking to the weapon. There's so much shit we haven't seen yet, Mike.
Yeah.
There's so much they haven't shown, because I know some people, you were asking questions earlier, bro. There's so much they still have not shown us or even want us to see. In terms of whether it's biomes or whether it's weapons or things related to the story or characters that we keep asking about. Obviously they're not going to blow their load right away, they want to save this for when we play. Yeah, but it's fucking awesome, man. It's going to be fantastic.
And I like during the trailer when who's that chick? Not Cortana. Who's the other
The
girl?
weapon.
Her name is as of
weapon.
now, her code
Okay.
name is the weapon.
I like it here. Whenever they're like, "What are we gonna do?" and Chief just pulls out a rocket launcher. He's like, "What do you think?" Like, take it down. Like, hell yeah, dude, that is so cool.
You know what the other thing too is before Saturday. So Saturday I was on the Game On Daily show, and somebody in the chat said, he's like, I don't like the weapon. She sounds like she's dumb. I'm like, okay, first of all, this is probably like a 10-year-old saying this, right? And then second, I'm like, I mean, it's not to sound like an asshole, but I really think like if you're really interested in Halo, if you're really, really interested in Halo, just for the story to take it in, I really would advise to at least try to understand some of the lore, because it's fucking amazing. Little things like why the weapon, this AI is more what's the word I'm looking for? Is more innocent or more naive, or what's the other word I'm looking for, Jordan?
Kind of like aloof, or even like
Yes. This is intentional.
Whimsical.
Yes, thank
There
you.
you go.
This is intentional. This is by design.
Yes.
And you will understand why. The way she was designed is because of the way Cortana is, or because of what happened with Cortana. Or like, somebody tells you like, hey, this kind of seems like a retread of the whole mendicant bias, offensive bias story. That shit is freaking awesome. You don't necessarily have to get so deep into the books or whatever. There's like videos that you can watch that are like 25 minutes, a half hour, which really explain it. But these little details and these little things, about the lore themselves, you will really appreciate them more. And I learned to appreciate them more, I'm not gonna lie to you, the first couple of Halos, I was like, whatever, even at 3. And I really didn't start diving into the stories and whatnot until 4 came out. Right. And then that's really when I was like, okay, I want to know more about this. Like Reach was fucking awesome. Right. But still, like, I knew what they were trying to do, but I didn't know everything, the encompassing thing, or what the relevance was behind, how bad was the fall of Reach. The last two, the biggest fucking military defeat in UNSC history. It's really fucking cool, when you put all this stuff together. So, yeah, I can't wait, bro. I can't fucking wait. Whew.
Look at that.
Yeah. let's talk about Lady Hellbender. Look at this picture, man. Look how beautiful this
These
is.
official, whatever these are, wallpapers are so good, man. So incredible, man.
They're not stopping with the content drops either. They released a 1.5-minute trailer the very next day with Esherum. When he talks about hope, it makes you weak. I'm like, oh my god,
that turned me on.
Yes.
I was like, this boy is this boy's challenging me as the player. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you were talking hard as fuck right now. I love it.
Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. And then they also just some little bit more, a couple of more details before we move on. So they said they're not gonna have map remakes, according to 343. They still want maps to feel like a little bit of a nostalgia trip, but they're not going to. Sorry, what were you saying, Jordan?
I'm saying I'm so cool with that, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still on board with that.
Yeah. They said they don't. For the first time, they're not going to remake any games. They'll put like some elements, that will remind you. You know what, Jordan? The funny thing is this article came out after this morning when I sat and I was like, holy shit, this reminds me of Plaza and Halo 5.
Yep, 100%.
Right? Yeah, so then they also said they're like, so they're not going to remake it. I'm completely okay with that. They said they tested them, and their sandbox style for this game just does not fit the older maps. I'm like Jordan. I'm completely fucking on board with this.
Please
let them make their own shit. Let them put their own stamp on it, and I think it's going to be awesome. And then they also showed a new multiplayer map today. It's called Streets. It's a 4v4 arena map. It's set in New Mombasa, and it does kind of look like Plaza if you played Halo 5. So I would check that out on IGN. They were the first to actually have it. Okay. Whew. Damn. Whew. Damn. All right. I talked to Kevin about this before the show. I was before you guys jumped in. I was debating whether to mention anything, because you're still making your way through Horizon. And there was like a Horizon Forbidden West, some details that dropped during the Halo reveal, like at the same exact time. You know, and they talked about, you know, some of the gameplay, some of the gameplay additions that they're doing. They're adding they really concentrated on traversal, increasing dynamic interactivity around the world. You know, the new array of options also pose challenges. You know, they talked about level design, dual sense integration, taking advantage of the PS5 hardware. They also said there's a free climbing system, which is fucking huge. They're very excited about it. And I really think that's why the game ended up being, that's one of the reasons why that year it kind of like fell behind Breath of the Wild in terms of scale and exploration. Because the game was an excellent game. You know, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, it doesn't need to be, it doesn't need an introduction. But the thing is once you played Breath of the Wild, and I'm not one of those people, I don't really care for Breath of the Wild, but once people who played both and they played Breath of the Wild and they saw that free scaling where you can just climb anywhere,
right?
It was kind of like, it really kind of like
For sure.
limited, the way that you looked at Horizon. So now they have that. They have a free climbing system, and they also have a high vault traversal mechanic, which is basically and they have something called a polecaster. It's a mechanically wrist-mounted device. So basically a grapple. Because because games need grapples now. Grapples are fucking cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yes, they
Grapples are fucking cool, man.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. So anyway, I was just going through it, and I liked it. It wasn't. It's kind of, just to keep it, in the news, and relevant and whatnot. But, in terms of like changing my excitement or whatnot, it's not going to really do anything different. This game looks fucking awesome. I say this as somebody who did not finish the first, and this already is pulling me in more than the first one did.
Sure.
So, just from what I'm seeing and the improvements that they're making. But, Jordan, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if I should even ask you because you're playing the first one. Did you see this or no?
So I heard about it. I didn't actually watch the thing, but I did want to just actually mention. So now that you're mentioning that, I can already kind of see, how the lack of free climbing could be somewhat of a detractor. Granted, the combat in Breath of the Wild is complete ass compared to how this plays. Complete, but no. So if Forbidden West is going to have free climbing, that's going to make this so much more engaging because climbing in this game is essentially what Uncharted is. Go to the yellow thing and go up it. So it's very linear. You don't really have much freedom as far as like how you approach traversal. So I think that's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely, man. And they talked about more freedom and dynamic gameplay, even like showing like how you can jump into the water and escape. And I really hope they double down on that, and I think they will. Guerrillas really proved themselves with, and I think they're just going for. This looks like to be a Gears of War 2. Bigger, better, more badass.
Nice.
Hey, I see what you're saying.
I really think they're just gonna take what they fucking did and just.
Let's go.
When sequels were sequels, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Kevin, my fucking son, what did you think about this, man?
That blog post came out right after the Halo reveal.
It was at the same time?
Or at the same time, I know. Smart move. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I played the expansion, and I am super excited for this. It looks really good. And I think they learned from all the, because it was really their first dip into this kind of game. So now they have that, ironed out. And I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I like this more than Breath of the Wild, and I played it so much. I just love to explore that world. Spoiler, Jordan, she's not dead. Obviously, because she's still alive. Yeah. So she doesn't die at all. Sorry to spoil that for you if you're looking forward to that. But honestly, the DualSense shit gets me hyped, like gets me going because I think that's going to be the next big thing. Like I really am digging. The more and more these devs use the DualSense shit, the more I like it. And the more I think that Xbox is totally coming out this generation, I think, with a controller that has more advanced haptics. I really do. So because it's there's something missing when I go from my Xbox controller to my DualSense. And if they could just make babies, then they would be the perfect controller. I try to rub them together and it doesn't work. But
Alchemy.
I know. I've tried. Don't do it. It doesn't work. But yeah, no, the DualSense shit is hot, man. Like
really
like
is.
the fact that
It
they were
is, yeah.
in the blog, you can tell like what you're doing just based on feel. So you don't even have to bring up like the weapon wheel to like reload or make more ammo and shit like that. Like that's fucking fantastic. Like that's huge, right? So now even if you're not immersed by that DualSense, you get immersed by not having to bring up a weapon wheel in the middle of combat, right? Anyway, we got a lot more topics. I could go on forever about DualSense,
Right.
but I
Me too.
think that's gonna be hot in this game, and the future of DualSense is awesome.
Yeah, man, no doubt. It's gonna be, yeah. I remember like one of the. I think you were disappointed by the Alan Wake DualSense integration. I remember you were really fucking looking forward to that one. You're kind of
I know. Like
Sounds like it's gonna be cool.
I even got the
switched his
PS5
pre-order,
version.
yeah.
I know. I switched my pre-order, waited forever, like 2 weeks,
Damn.
and then I was like, but whatevs, man. You take
It's a 30.
gamble.
That's $30. It's okay.
Yeah. But these AAA games, man, I think they're really gonna take advantage of it for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely, man, for sure. Hassan's saying you're simping pretty hard
I
for a dead
know.
console,
I'm sorry.
so-
I swear I'm an Xbot.
Yeah,
I
he is,
just, I truly am. I'm
I know.
sorry.
Hassan, we're trying, man. We're trying to work with this boy. Mike, you platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn. So
I did.
Looking at all of
It's not
this right here, all of the additions and everything. Is this tickling that? Is this tickling your Horizon fancy right now?
It is the gameplay for sure. What you're saying about fucking Gears of War 2, Uncharted 2, like okay. I remember when Horizon 1 came out, literally over every single. At least I was only on Facebook at the time. The biggest thing that people made fun of the games where it's like, oh, that dude who goes through video games and he paints the ledges white, like came through this game, and you know how those, hey, climb this thing. You can only climb the thing that's painted white or yellow, and that's cool. So I did not know about all that. I like what you said, Mo, about free climbing. Are you serious? That looked like, so whenever I saw the little video clip that they showed, I remember seeing her slide under the raptor, and I was like, oh, it's just that Horizon Forbidden West shit that's being advertised everywhere. And then I like stopped to look, and I did a double take when she did the Batman grapple flip up slow-mo to the raptor. I was like, that's fucking new, and I liked that. So, okay, the animals, of course, however they did it in the first one was obviously, to me, like, that was the most mind-blowing thing. Like Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that is one of the things that sticks out the most out of like besides the guns, like and the like how different it is, and it's like tribal. It's not techie or whatever, but there is tech. Cool, I like that or whatever. But I feel like the animals in this game, like, were bar none some of the most unique things that came to video games like in quite a while. I hope the same with all the game mechanics and the environmental like interactions and stuff. I hope that level of like jump goes to the animals as well. That elephant or whatever, crocodiles, big ass tortoises, like already just from the ads that they're showing, like it's like, wow, like y'all really thought outside the box from I might spoil a little bit, Jordan, but like underground salamanders that are the size of a bus, like, and even in that, yeah, you're like, holy shit, this exists in this game right here, or like Zapdoses. Let's just say I want to just throw that word out there. Zapdos, okay, he's in Horizon for sure. So yeah, they're rotating on to the next big thing. Guerrilla did Death Stranding. Is that like kind of correct?
No, that
or
was
just
their
the engine, the Decima engine, that was it, correct?
Engine,
Okay, that's an interesting engine. And only Horizon and Death Stranding have that like engine being
far as we
used,
know,
and now
yeah.
two. Okay. That reminds me awful a lot of like Kojima's engine in the first place. What was his engine? Fox something.
Fox engine.
Foxhound.
Yeah, the Fox engine.
I think that's why it
reminds
that.
it reminds me a lot of that. And if they can do something with that, I wouldn't mind seeing something like a Metal Gear Solid remake anytime soon.
Stop
Anyways,
dreaming. Stop dreaming, buddy.
Like,
but yeah, I'm pumped for Horizon, and I'm definitely gonna pick it up. And I do have like the excited jellies that I have about it, as like any other like Halo and stuff. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude! Elden Ring,
That's cool, man.
Horizon.
What are your excited
woohoo.
jellies?
The inner emotions that I have that I cannot explain, I just
Okay.
dub them
All right.
jellies.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
I got
All
that
right.
Pikachu taught me that, bro. Go see
Okay.
Detective
All right.
Pikachu. He says he's like, you feel it in your jellies,
Jellies.
or whatever. Yeah,
All right.
super
That's
pumped for
fucking
it.
awesome, man. No, that's good shit. It's gonna be fun, man. It's looking like yeah, they're gonna do some great things with it. So we'll see when the time comes. Okay, this is something for me and Kevin's old asses. So Returnal, new Returnal update added suspend mode, suspend points, and a photo mode as well. Photo mode, by
not
the way,
gonna
is
help.
fucking awesome. I've
It's
seen
not
some
gonna
really
help.
cool shit with the photo mode. Anyway, so what Housemarque did is they updated the game and it allowed a player to pause the current cycle that they're at. So basically, you create a suspend cycle. It's called a suspend cycle feature. So you can suspend it per cycle. You can't suspend it before boss fights. You can't suspend it before in the middle of a fight. It's got to be like where you're literally not doing anything. And it only allows you to reload it into that cycle, and that's it. Otherwise, and apparently you can't reload it, but there is a glitch that somebody discovered that allows you to reload it over and over. But anyway, the whole point of why I wanted to mention this is I don't look at this, as something that I remember it was making its rounds, and there was some gatekeeping PlayStation peons, because they were like, oh, you should play it the way the developer wanted it. The developer clearly did it without sacrificing their vision. In what people are not understanding is a save cycle or a suspend cycle once per cycle. It does not give you any added benefits. It does not give you any added talent. It does not give you any added reflexes, that you would need to otherwise finish this game, right? You still need to be fucking good, and you still need to be patient to finish the game. And no suspense cycle in the world is going to help out with that. Where this does help is for old asses like myself who can't fucking dedicate 45 minutes to 1 hour per cycle, or even longer sometimes. And you can suspend it in the middle and come back to it. No harm, no foul. Doesn't take away from anything. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that, you're a loser ass, who decided to fucking just go straight through an hour and a half is better than mine that had to truncate it into 2 45-minute sessions. Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, your reflexes would probably most likely still be better than mine, and you would probably be able to finish the game, whereas I won't be able to, whether I had the suspense cycle feature or not. So that's how I feel about it. I think it's something great. I think they really hit it home in terms of respecting people's time, especially people who can't do that. And if you're butthurt by it, shut the fuck up. That's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah. Jordan, where you at, bro? Where you at?
okay, so as someone that's played a shit ton of roguelites, I kind of think that this probably should have been there from the beginning, because it's not just like you said, the points you just made, it does not give you any sort of advantage. It's literally just a quality of life thing, to where you need to say, I have to take care of something. I cannot put this game down right now. So I'm going to, guess I'm going to lose all my shit. And then, that's it. Because I've had runs in this game that when I was first playing it, that ran for like 2 hours, and then my game would crash, and that's it. Or, I had to go to sleep, for example. No, this is a very similar save state that you see in basically every other roguelite. Enter the dungeon, you save before you exit a dungeon, at the completion of a dungeon floor, you save the game, and that's it. Hades, you save in between dungeon rooms. That's it. You can't do it during a fight, just like you mentioned. It's very balanced. It does not take away from anything else that the game is trying to teach you. Again, just a quality of life feature. And I think it probably should have been there from the beginning. But otherwise, no, it may make it more accessible for some. It may not change anything. But photo mode, I'm going to mess around with that soon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, man.
This
that's the
shit's
thing,
not
just
gonna
if
change
it fucking
anything.
bothered me.
I'm still gonna fucking not fucking finish it,
Right?
and it's still
I'm
too
still not
fucking
gonna
hard.
get past that second boss.
And
It's not
all,
gonna help
dude,
me.
and all it's gonna do is suspend my fucking anxiety and fate that is already sealed. So I can play a little while and prolong it and think about it all fucking night, and then die the next day because this shit is hard and I'm too fucking old for this game. But I don't know, man. So I have seen pretty much universal praise for it. My fabulous person that I hate to love, Crack Bandicoot, even said that now this is his game of the year because he wanted this feature so bad, and he platinumed that fucker. And he never says nice things about anything. But I do like, he's my favorite troll. Like, I have a soft spot for him. I don't know what it is, but really, I mean, if it makes it more accessible, if you have kids, if you have a fucking life, and you need to, one time. So like, you better make that shit worthwhile. And you don't have to worry about leaving your console up and it crashing. And the PS5 was having its issues during that time, and the game was having its issues during that time. So really, it probably should have released with it. Either way, Returnal's a fantastic game that I'm never gonna finish. And yeah,
we're just not gonna finish
Yeah,
it.
Joe,
No.
how bad did that plat drain your soul? Answer me that. All right, was it worth it?
I'm
No.
curious.
Oh, please.
I'm curious.
No, it was
Oh,
not.
please.
Keep playing PlayStation. I
love you, Joe.
We do love you.
Oh shit, Mike, I'm gonna get to you in a second. Born Distracted says, "Can we get an F-word meter?" Oh, that's a
That'd be
wrong
pretty
show,
good.
buddy.
be a big meter.
It'll be a big meter, my friend. I promise. It's all within reason.
You're gonna need 2 monitors, baby.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike. Mike, I forgot, man. You never bought Returnal after you got your PS5, did you?
Man, I didn't, but that hour that Kevin let me play when we
Right?
share screen, because it's been on sale
It's
here
on sale
recently.
now.
I know. I am like, damn, I should take a page out of Jordan's and get it digital.
just
This
a
would be
matter of
this
time.
would
Just
be yours,
because-
buddy. This is your kind of game, since you like to, fucking hit yourself and slam your dick against
Yeah.
doors and stuff.
So
Yeah, I like that.
Mike
Well,
gets it. We vibe.
yeah, I like
you
that.
guys are vibing.
I remember being like very intrigued the way the gameplay is, because it is definitely different. Because I was only on the 4, like the haptics were only vibrational, you know what I mean? But they were very interesting, and it feels super different than like any other shooter that I have played, Almost, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy. I have no idea. Like, Returnal's good, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so the suspend feature, right? There ain't nothing wrong with it, man. I don't think, at least. I think if the game were to have released with it, it would have been... what word am I trying to look for? To where it's more feasible for, like,
Accessible?
accessible for, like, people who don't play these kind of games, and it already
Right.
came with that, where it's like, okay, so at least I don't get totally hammered down. Like, I could save, like, right there and, like, at least go from there, or what have you. So recently, and I think it was because of the subject matter of what we're talking about right now, somebody said, and it really hit home for me, because of this is a big topic between like the Souls community as well, is that even if the developers made an easy mode, you don't have to play it. And if you don't want
Yeah.
to choose it, like, don't
absolutely
really
right.
make it a problem. You know what I mean? And that really hit home. Yeah.
This isn't even an easy mode, though, Mike.
No, yeah, I'm totally
Yeah.
very aware
Oh,
of this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can make that argument, though.
Yeah, right. It just kind of like hits in the same vein, I think.
Right.
Because the hardcores, like you, Jordan, like you would only use it only for like convenience, basically.
Yeah,
like you're not
exactly.
using it for a strategic advantage. You're not using it for like any of, that type of stuff.
Right.
And if it did release whenever it came out, I wouldn't be surprised if guys like Mo and Kevin were like, oh man, you know what? Like that suspend feature like keeps me in it, and it makes me want to return that next night and like get through it a little bit more. You know what I mean? So I feel like even as like a company, I would want that in my game, just because I wouldn't want people to be like, dude, I bought your game, but it's so fucking hard, I can't even get it. I would be like, like I don't want to put an easy mode in there, but how could I like meet you halfway as the casual gamer compared to like as a company saying like, hey, I want this game to be difficult because it is a roguelite, you know what I mean? And actually as the first roguelite like genre I've ever heard about. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Every time you die, you go back just for that 1 hour. It was great. And then Hades, you know, so like it wedged me in there. Like Returnal to me is going to be one of those PS5 games that is like, oh, that was the first of its kind or whatever. So yeah, I like Returnal and I hope it gets praise. I hope there's a sequel actually, you know, so I could like dive back into it. I'm like this close to buying it, seriously.
Sequel. The game never fucking ends.
Oh my
Why didn't you just
To some players, it's forever.
He's right, dude. It never fucking ends.
That's too funny. That's too
It
funny.
really never ends. Holy shit. Oh, that's awesome. That's good, man. That's good. So are you in the mindset that this makes the game easier?
No.
Let's be honest. You and Jordan, all gloves off, no bullshit. You guys are souls fucking guys.
Yeah, let me just say.
You don't have to prove anything to us, man. We're your fucking boys. I still love you, even if you're dicks. Do you guys think this makes the game easier?
No, because this is
Is
again,
this an easy mode?
The verbiage here is important because it's suspended. It is not a save point. If you die, you still restart the entire game over.
Sure.
It's solely just a way for you to safely exit the game without losing all of your progress you made during that cycle.
Right.
So no, it does not make it easier.
It's just like a game session suspension.
Correct, Mike.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
all it is.
it's not like oh, if I die, I'm gonna
No, it does not make it
point.
easier.
No,
They basically just did it in a proper way, Mike, instead of the janky way where when the game first came out, they were telling you pause the game and then put it in, you know, and then go to the dashboard. Turn off whatever the fuck, you know, like it was just so janky. So they figured out how to do it properly now. Okay, Jordan, what you said is pretty much exactly the point I was trying to make. But I just want to know, bro, you know, because you're my fucking boy, Blue. All right.
You're good.
Okay. This was another hot topic. We'll touch on it. You know, not for very long, but PlayStation created a PlayStation PC label.
It's because PlayStation's dead.
And that's because PlayStation is definitely dead.
Yep.
And you know, again, Chapter 11 and all this stuff. But basically, they formed the PlayStation PC label for its PC games push. The label registration is seemingly another sign that Sony intends to take PC gaming seriously. And they switched it from PlayStation PC LLC from the previous PlayStation Mobile label. And, you know, again, this really, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, we've seen God of War coming. We know Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy are coming. We've seen Death Stranding. We've seen, Horizon Zero Dawn making a fucking 250% return on investment in like the first few months after it hit fucking Steam. That's just Horizon Zero Dawn alone. And, you know, obviously then Jim Ryan saying that the opportunity to bring the IPs to a wider audience as well as an easier port process meant that making more games for PC was a fairly straightforward decision for the company, hence why they also went and picked up Nixxes, a studio that does PC ports. So for all intents and purposes, if this makes you, if this really pisses you off and makes you butthurt, I'm sorry, but PlayStation is bringing their games to PC. The one thing that I will say is I'm not in the I mean, this was something that I was talking about the other day too, man, right? Like, you guys know me, I'm a fucking God of War slappy. God of War sold 19.5 million copies on PS4 alone. Some games don't fucking dream of doing those numbers on 3 or 4 different fucking platforms.
Yeah.
Right? So when you have a game like that that's sold that much on one platform, why not try to expand it and make it fucking more? Right? Especially hitting that PC market. Give them the shinier, prettier version. Everybody knows God of War by now, whether you own a PlayStation or not. You've heard of God of War and you know pretty much what it is. So try to gain more on that, man. Try to get more on that. Try to get more on that return of investment, and also use it as bait. Because believe me, there are people out there, you know, that will still buy a PlayStation 5 after they play God of War in order to play Ragnarok. That's at least their hope. I'm not saying everybody will do it, you know, I mean, but obviously, but still, that is also their hope, right? Let's build up this hype, let's generate this shit. And Kevin, I'm also hoping that they do what you said last time, is to kind of like make this ultimate edition of Ragnarok and bring in like a remastered version of God of War, even though God of War 2018 still looks better than most games on the market to this day.
Not?
You know, yeah, but fuck, it's still remaster. Why not? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with you, Mo.
I was looking at it. I'm like, you know, you should be happy. You know, if you love these IPs, you should be happy that it's getting in more hands. And if this is somehow making you so insecure by thinking that your $500 that you spent on this specific console is somehow not worth it anymore, or somehow like has diminished, like if you're getting a diminish in return, you're a fucking idiot. And I don't know what to tell you. What I do think though is I still don't think that they're coming to PC day and date. In fact, I think that'll never happen. I do think that they will always prioritize their console first, and while I don't think it's going to have to be like another 2 or 3 years like they are now, you know, that's why they keep saying, you know, first, I agree with the case by case basis. I think it will be case by, like, I can't see for some reason a game like Ratchet and Clank coming to PC. I don't know. Like that to me is like a console game. It's not like or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, you know, or, you know, if they do feel like I think they're going to push out those games where they feel like that they'll get like a higher return of investment on PC themselves. And I don't think that it's going to be day and date. I don't think they'll ever release day and date. You know, I think minimum will be 6 months, but I personally don't think that going forward that they're going to wait like over a year. I think 1 year, you know, you've maxed out as much as you can on the console, you know, even after sales and whatever, and it's kind of time to like give it new life, you know, after a year. So yeah, that's at least where I'm at right now. But Jordan, you got anything to say on PlayStation PC label and it being dead and you know, just you know, because Joe right here has been going fucking off in the chat. He's like, I already broke and smashed my PS5 and sold it back to Best Buy. I'm sorry, man. I know you're upset. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. Oh, I fucking love you, man. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, not a lot to say, man. It's just again, it just makes sense from a business standpoint for them. You know, there's a, as I just mentioned in the chat, you know, there's a massive potential audience for them to reach with people that own PCs. So it just makes sense for them just to further their reach. And like you mentioned too, more people can experience awesome freaking games, and if it makes more money for the studios, that means more money for them to make more of those good games. So.
Because people are having a hard time like looking at it, right? Like, I mean, it's PlayStation's not like they're kind of like whether you like it or not, they are trying to expand their label, right? The way Xbox is, you know, in terms of like, okay, we're not really just focusing on the box. Obviously, they're not going as broad as Xbox is going. Correct. You know what I mean? They're not. But what I meant is, it's more of they're looking at it more of like a public, like they're more of a publisher now, you know, than just like trying to keep it on a closed space. They're gonna satisfy us console fiends. They'll always give us, you know, reasons to purchase their consoles. That's not going to change. But still, people also need to see that, like, hey, man, they are publishing games that will go on a PC as well. Like, I mean, they are a publisher first and foremost. So take that how you will. Kevin, my fucking son. How you doing with this news, man?
I'm fine with it.
Are you butthurt, bro?
Nah. I think people are worried that the shit's coming day and date, and that's not going to happen, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
They do too well on their hardware sales. System sells, the games for the system sell. So, you know, it doesn't make business sense. It's all business. Fuck your feelings. Sony 2024. And it's silly, but you know what's going to be really disappointing is those poor people, because there's like 2 billion Steam users, okay, and like 1 billion of them run potatoes as machines, and they're going to be so disappointed when this shit runs like crap. Now, mind you, none of these ports are done by the actual devs, right? They're all farmed out to these different porting studios.
Nixus.
Some of them, not even just Nixus. So there's like a Jetpack something or another that's doing this God of War. Either way, these guys don't have a ton of experience porting stuff in some cases, and I think it may not be as fluid. I'm being nice, as fluid of an experience as just popping in your God of War disc or loading it up on a PS5 or even a PS4 because it looked damn good on the PS4 for what it was. So yeah, get those, all those 3090s that everybody seems to have that I keep seeing on Twitter. Get those 3090s out, your liquid cooled rig, your fucking 244 hertz monitors. Get ready because you might need them. I just don't feel they're gonna put as much time and effort into these ports, and based on the Steam reviews, they're rough at first, so just be prepared for that. If you want, I think if you want that definitive experience, you're just gonna have to buy a PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
get it
you were
first,
saying that.
and I think you're gonna have a better copy of the game, even if PC, the PC Master Race has the power. Those devs work so closely on that PlayStation hardware that it's hard to deny that they make a good product. So, whatever. I think PlayStation's always going to treat their console owners as special. So it's okay, everybody. You're still special. You're a special snowflake, and they will love you forever. PC will be second.
Yeah,
Second fiddle.
guys. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
It's okay.
Seriously.
Don't worry.
Another interesting thing is Matt Piscatella, Mike, I'm about to get to you. He tweeted out, if you don't follow him, he's a industry analyst. He said, according to the MPD Group's Player Pulse, only about 1/3 of PC players in the U.S. owns a PS4, and only 8% own a PS5. That leaves a huge PC audience that can be reached, and is also why releasing ports on PC is not likely to impact content sales on consoles. Win-win kind of deal. That's what people are having a fucking hard time understanding. If you worship a brand and you clearly want it to do so well, this is only more money for the brand. It's just like those fucking people that are, that were like jerking off the other day when they released that Microsoft was worth $2.4 trillion, as if that affects you or Xbox in any way, shape, or form. You fucking cucks. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah. Mike, what did you... You got anything to add to this?
I like it. Actually, what you and Kevin said, Mo, I was like learning right there. That's cool. I like information like that because, like, I don't choose to personally go out and look for that type of information. But as a PlayStation fan, I do like it. I do want more people to experience games like, especially God of War. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like one of those things where it's like there's certain games you got to play to be dubbed. I'm just like spouting off here. Like, there are certain games you got to play to be dubbed a gamer. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. But I do feel like some of those PS exclusives are some of those games, just like Xbox exclusives and all that stuff. Yes, I think it's good. I think I'm very curious to see a main hardcore first-person shooter PC gamer pick up some of these PlayStation games as a third person and be like, well, this is cool or whatever. Like, that'd just be an interesting thing to be a fly on a wall with or whatever. But yeah, good on Sony. They're going to try to figure it out the best they can. And I wouldn't be surprised within like 5 years or so, it becomes more of a bigger thing and it's more slated out to be like, instead of a case by case basis, which is smart. And I totally agree with, it'll be like, yeah, usually PlayStation exclusives, we're at the point in time now where they release it and then so many months later, like it goes on PC or like a year later or what have you. You know what I mean? And they'll get a little bit more like they'll wrap their fingers around it a little bit more, maximum income, all that kind of stuff. Sure. So yeah, it's going to be good, man. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it like from other studios or companies doing it as well.
Oh yeah, no doubt. All right, let me get to... We'll get to the last topic of the night, and that is, I feel like that's probably going to be the shortest one, to be honest with you. I know, it's a fucking running joke. They've been getting clowned since Wednesday or Thursday, whatever. But basically, the Sony State of Play, or State of Play, if you
So
they announced... Look, here's the thing. Even if you set expectations right before shows, like sometimes we see Aaron Greenberg, before shows are really, before shows come out, and he sets expectations. He's like, listen, we're not going to see this. You're not going to see that. I like that, right? Like that's, I like it when they do that. They're letting us know that it's a smaller event than what you would think it is. The problem is with, at least with this approach from Sony, calling it a state of play, whether it doesn't matter the fact that they said that it's going to be third-party games across PS4 and PS5, that itself has expectations. So all they did was say like, hey, there's no first-party games on the Sony side, but there are third-party games on PS4 and PS5. And what are you going to start thinking? You're going to start thinking, oh, okay, well, it's probably... What the fuck is that Athea game? I keep forgetting Project Athea. God,
Forspoken.
God, Forspoken. You know, I thought it was like that. Final Fantasy 16. Technically, those are third-party games,
right? Yeah,
but they didn't. Dementia. And you know, and obviously they didn't show any of that, right? They didn't really show any big games. They focused it more on smaller games, you know what I mean? And I like that they did a focus on indie games. I love indie games. I have no problem with it, but I don't think that it needs to be called a state of play because that title itself carries expectations with it. You know, like no matter what you think or say, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. When you see a Sony state of play, you know that there's expectations with it. And unfortunately, it just seems like that they didn't deliver from that end. Like the day of the show, I'm like, honestly, guys, they could have just fucking made this a PS blog entry and called it a day. They showed some cool things, you know. I mean, of note for me, all right. Like, I mean, I'm looking at it. That Deathverse, Let It Die. It's like a multiplayer survival action game built around a reality game show. That looks okay. That looks cool. You know, it's not like whoa, but it's cool, right? I mean, that's something I would definitely try. You know, We Are OFK. I have no idea what the fuck that is. All right, like I mean, they showed Bug Snacks. You know, more Friday Night at Freddy's. I mean, look, man, people were getting. I don't know how people were getting sick of, you know, either Deathloop or Among Us, and you know how much Friday Night at Freddy's we've seen over the past several years. You know, I mean, and then they showed another cool announcement is Death's Door is finally coming to PlayStation, which was really good news. And then you had, whatever, Little Devil Inside. They showed some of it. It looks cool. I love the art style. But I mean, outside of that, like, I mean, there weren't really any, call it what you will. It doesn't matter, right? Like, I mean, even if it's not first party games, there wasn't really anything that kind of like, at least for me, was worthy of the state of play name. That's at least my opinion. But Jordan, what did you think of this?
Death's Door. That's all you need to know. Thank you. Good night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just kind of I missed the show just like, you know, a lot of us our contemporaries did. But just like you, man, I watched the recap and that Deathverse, Let It Die, just sounds like a cool concept. But that's bad. It's like I said, it's not a big splash, but it definitely seemed to kind of stand out from that presentation. But otherwise, no, I can't praise Death's Door enough. PlayStation people, you have to play that game. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bad bit saying you got a toothache. What do I do? I don't know, bro.
Folks,
wrong fucking show.
All caps
vanilla extract, Joe. Vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract.
Some oregano oil.
Yeah, that
oil of oregano. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Mike or Kevin, I'm sorry, Kevin. I know you were saying
skipped
that.
Right over me.
Yeah,
Death's Door is really the biggest announcement.
Yeah, could have been an
otherwise,
email.
it could have been an email. Honestly, I mean that shit bored me to tears. It could have been a blog post. I think some of those games will be fantastic once I actually play them. All kidding aside, but they're not showcase pieces, right? It's really hard to showcase like and get excited for an indie game. It really is. Like I just don't do it. Like once I play it and I get in there and I'm in the gameplay loop and I'm like, oh, this is great. But show me like a pixel fucking, you know, randomly generated world and give it like a minute and a half of a trailer. That bores me to tears, man. It's like watching paint dry or PowerPoint or WebEx or some shit.
Or mowing the lawn.
Or mowing the lawn. Yeah. Even that. I could make a better trailer of my lawn mowing simulator than some of these games. But Death's Door is coming. Go buy it. It's like $20, and they get the better version too. You get like an additional game. You get their first game or some shit that's attached to it. I don't even know what the fuck it's called.
Is there DualSense integration or no?
I didn't hear anything about DualSense. But if there is, that'd be tight too. Either way, you get a free game, and it's amazing. And I beat that game, and I didn't think I would, but I did it. So if I can beat it, you can beat it. This is the man that cannot finish Returnal. So it's not hard. Go play it. I finished it. Yeah, I didn't get like the super ending like Jordan did, where you have to like replay it 3 times naked or something like that. I just
At
played it
least.
normal, like a regular fucking human. I played the game and I beat it and I stopped. I didn't go
that's
back
it.
and
Yeah, that's
replay
it,
it.
right?
It was great. It was great. So, and all the other games, I'll talk about them when they get here. But this state of
right.
play was meh. It was like I almost thought I was watching an Xbox presentation. Bada boom!
Oh, but I'm.
Bada boom. Oh shit. Oh god.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
I just want to say there is DualSense integration for Death's Door. Son of a.
Oh, so it's
Wow,
the better,
so I'm
it's
gonna
the
feel like
better
little
version,
crow
baby.
feet. Like
Yes, you are. My,
Like, that's gonna be nuts.
why is that crow holding a sword?
Wow.
Yeah,
I had
you
no
better grip
idea.
that shit. Where's your thumb at, animal?
Okay.
Seriously.
All right. Okay. Mike, any thoughts on that state of play?
I'll just kind of tell you, like, okay, so the Devil Inside, I was like, oh, cool. I was watching it with my daughter, and she was like, they look like little wooden people. And I'm like, exactly. They look like real wooden little dolls, like in a video game. Cool. And that was it. But besides that, man, I literally stood up and I put my hand over my face and I was like, this is what they're showing. I was like, I was way too hyped for this. Like you, Mo. I was literally being like, it could be really good. This could be some bangers, you know? And then I was like, but it could be worse. But I was like, no, today's exciting, right? And then they started showing the stuff and I was like, okay, this is cool, I guess. But I literally had to get up midway through and I was just like, I'm good on this, man. Like, this is not exciting to me.
There was nothing compelling to really make you
Yeah.
fucking sit down, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a can't miss show. You know,
And then whenever they announced, like, oh, that was the show, thanks for watching, guys, I was like, what? Okay. And by the way, Let It Die was a free-to-play game that came out in, like, 2017 on PlayStation, and it's that same premise, and I was actually kind of like... Because I played Let It Die a little bit, and the concept seems cool. Dark Souls-ish, like, Battle Royale, I'm not really sure exactly. But I was surprised to see that got a sequel because I guess it did well enough. I'm not sure, but I do know that it did have somewhat of a small following. So
Yeah.
that was like the only thing that I was like, wow, good for that. Like, good on that game, whatever. But yeah, it was really disappointing. But I'm sure they're saving the meat and potatoes for like,
next year.
Yeah.
I think they're done for the year. This
Yeah,
kind
when
of
they're
seemed
gonna
like
drop.
this kind of seemed like a hi, we're still here.
Yeah, like, don't
type of
forget
thing.
we got some indie stuff coming
Yeah,
up, guys.
yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah.
it, you know. And the other thing too is I will say is this was something I mentioned Saturday as well. Is yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, you hear Sony doesn't really have any games coming out this holiday season, and that's completely fair. You know, I mean, we've seen some of these consoles, you know, at some points where they really, you people don't understand how much these consoles rely on third-party games. You know, I mean, so Sony's got Call of Duty and they have Battlefield and they have God knows what else, you know, in between Riders Republic and whatever. And I understand, yeah, they don't have a Halo, they don't have a Forza, but how many years on Xbox did you sit there and wonder where the games were when Sony's fucking fall and holiday games were coming out, right? And
Battlefield,
Xbox also had to
COD.
fucking rely on third-party games. Let's be fair and stop talking out of your asses, okay? Like, I mean, this is the way the business works. So especially now because it's getting harder and whatever. So it's going to, they know that they're going to be fine. They keep fucking selling consoles. Hey, well, they're at 13.5 million. No way of slowing down, it seems like.
Yeah, they're super concerned.
Yeah, they're very fucking concerned.
Super concerned. I bet they can't.
Totally.
You know, like the PS2 didn't get carried by a bunch of third parties
No,
back
no,
then.
no.
And it's
PS2,
the
nah,
best-selling
hell
console of all time.
Hundreds of first-party games. Hundreds. Oh, yeah. Brizzle, I promise you I will have updated Peppa impressions. My daughter's been sick.
Review incoming.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
telling
are you
man.
reviewing Peppa
But I
Pig?
did
That's
hear it was in
amazing.
a nice and crispy 30 frames per second.
Ooh.
All right,
Is there
it pushes.
HDR?
It put. I have to go back and check. I don't believe so, but it pushes the Series X so hard that if you put a ping pong ball on top of the Series X, it'll fucking float.
That's so old school, Mo.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh
Hell
man,
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's fucking hilarious. Born
was a good
distracted.
one.
Yes, that is an OLED, my friend. Absolutely. I have the game on. And Mav, what's up, brother? Good to see you here. But yeah, so Peppa Pig impressions coming next week. Look out for those.
Nice.
Coming on Sunday, baby. Brizzle, my man. Anyway, yeah, guys, thank you That's it. That's all we had for the topics for this week. We actually had another one. We were going to talk about Modern Warfare, but we'll wait until like it's something more official, considering the Vanguard's not even out yet, and people are already talking about next year's Call of Duty. So, yeah, I know. But everybody who came, everybody who was here with us, thank you so much. It's a Monday. It was a different day for us, obviously because of yesterday, but honestly, it was just as enjoyable. I'm really glad you guys all came out. We laughed, we fucked around, we talked, all about a lot of cool shit, and I appreciate you guys as always. Every night, man. Seriously, thank you guys so much for being with us. That's always appreciated. I hope everybody has a good week. Happy November. We are officially 36 days away from Halo Infinite.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And Merry Christmas. And we are 4 days away from Forza Horizon 5 this Friday, if you get the digital deluxe edition, which gives
That's
you...
right. I forgot to
access.
tell you guys, Halo inspired me to join the Space Force, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Not.
But yeah, man. So,
May your days be blessed with Mariah Carey.
Damn it, you beat me to it, Kevin.
That's starting.
You beat me to it, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, that is starting. Oh, shit. Mariah Carey, that's right. So, yeah, anyway, that's it for me. You guys got anything you wanted to add? Jordan,
Just usual housekeeping, if you guys are enjoying the show, we'd appreciate if you leave us a like. Reach out to us on Twitter. Offer some feedback, good, bad, somewhere in between. Let us know what you think of us. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, too. Other than that, I'm going to go listen to some Mariah Carey. All I want for all of Christmas is you.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my dinner.
Play some fucking video games.
Play some fucking video games.
Let's
Yeah,
go play
fucking
some fucking video games, guys.
yeah. Lady's tree is already up. Lady, you're
Oh, I figured. If it was anybody, it was Lady.
You are a cultured individual, lady. That's what I love about you.
Awesome.
You are a cultured individual. Anyway, yeah, guys. Thank you again for being with us, and we'll see you guys on Sunday at our normal time, 8 p.m. So, yeah, everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Look out for our unusual opinions on Twitter, and peace out. Bye.
Peace out.
Good night.
Bye.
Later. Happy week.